So let's talk distance. So I recently put out a little something I heard about some guy that couldn't hit it far and was promised that if he swung slower, he'd hit it straighter and it'd be better for him. And the consensus that came back from the crew that voted on this on social media went pretty heavily towards, I'd rather hit it farther. And I'll say this, I've never had anybody come into my lesson saying they wanted to hit it shorter. So it confused me as a coach that you as a coach would be okay with people hitting it shorter than when they left you. And I get the argument that it's like, hey, if I'm gonna be straight, I want to hit it shorter. Yeah, woo. It's not how it works. Just because you're swinging slower doesn't mean you're gonna hit it straighter. What it most likely means is that you can play your inefficient kinetic sequence and do it despite that. And it might be a little straighter, doubtful. I wouldn't put any money on it. You're just going to be straighter in the sense that your dispersion is not going out as far down range. It's still going to have that same look. It's just not going to go as far. So it might not get into the hay, but it's not going to help you out. And on top of that, guys like Super Speed Golf and other people that are doing some research on it have found that when you start to learn how to go fast, you have to have the right sequences to go fast, or as fast as you can. And when you do that, you hit it straighter. But the argument I was thinking about too, that is relevant is, let's say a Kyle Berkshire walked in for a lesson at 130, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, when you drive at 130, you're amazing, it's so fast. Well, his coach, Bernie Najar, has him up to almost 150. So you guys sit there and go, okay, so a player's going on 130 is phenomenal. The guy found 20 more miles an hour. How did he do it? Well, he might have been getting that 130 with an inefficient model and found a more efficient model. And that's obviously at the long drive level. But at the same time, if you look at what's going on the tour, guys that are making all the money are hitting it longer than everybody else. Guys are losing their cars are the one that hit in the fairway. Hitting the fairway doesn't matter in the sense that that's what's going to help you shoot lower scores. Not hitting it out of play is what's going to help you shoot lower scores. So if you can hit it long, keep it between the OB stakes, I'll take your odds. If we had to go a whole round of a player hitting it from 100 yards out of the rough, even the whole day, versus a player from 150 from the fairway, I'm still taking the guy that can get it to 100 yards because odds are he's not going 14 for 14 out of the rough. He's going to put some in the fairway and then be a lot closer and give himself way more chances for birdie. And so some of the stats that I've seen Mark Sweeney's put out is like Justin Thomas had 25 more chances for birdie than the average tour player in 2019. Jordan Spieth had 45 less chances for birdie than Justin Thomas. Than the tour average. He was 70 opportunities where he was in position for birdie inside of 20 feet, 70 chances less than Justin Thomas, right? Look at how their seasons went. So if you can get it closer to the hole, you can increase your chances to get it up close enough to make those birdies and get it inside that 20-foot window to make birdies. You're not going to do that when you're having to hit 8-iron all day or 6-iron all day, right? You're going to do it when you got a wedge in your hand. So at the end of the day, us as a coach, we have to make sure we're doing right by our player and make sure they're getting the most out of the lesson and enjoyment, right? A lot of times they don't have to slow down to go fast. They have to slow down to learn it, right? I'll have my players stop in the middle of a golf swing, think about what they're going to do next, and then do it and execute it, then have them just go randomly swinging away at the golf club hoping to get it right or slowing down and telling them that's better. So we have to be diligent as a coach to make sure we're putting forth the best efforts by our students. And so what we have to make sure is that if they're swinging slower, and it's not necessarily getting straighter, but we're telling them it's going to get straighter because they're swinging slower, it's probably not built to swing that way. Everything that I've seen and talked to with others is when they are swinging slower, or they're swinging it more crooked, it's not how they're designed. Tiger Woods in 2008, 9, 10, great examples. So really be careful about coaching and that whole swing slower, shorter. Like obviously if I hit a 3/4 punch out, I'm trying to hit it straighter. I'm still keeping that same kinetic sequence though in the golf swing. So it's not despite my talents, I'm gonna try to hit a little shorter, a little straighter. I'm still keeping the same good stuff, just doing it on a shorter scale so it doesn't go as far between shots. But if I hit a full 8 versus a 3/4 7, I might hit that full 8, right? I might hit that 3/4 7 if I have to, right? That's not what we're getting at. What we're saying is if our 8 iron goes 165, it's okay to hit 8 iron 150 because it will go straighter. It's just not what I've seen. So that's my little rant for this golf coach talk. But at the end of the day, you gotta make sure you're having fun. And like I said, I've never had anybody come in the bay saying, I want to hit it shorter.